I wanted to talk about the filling of a constitutional office vacancy here in the state of California. California's Constitution in Article 5, Section 5 provides for the filling of a vacancy in one of the 9 constitutional offices. The 9 constitutional offices in California are governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, board of equalization, of which there are 4 members, controller, insurance commissioner, secretary of state, superintendent of public instruction, and the treasurer. And they are elected on the statewide ballot every 4 years. While a vacancy in the office of governor is obviously filled by the lieutenant governor, how are the other offices filled? Section 5A of Article 5 provides, unless the law otherwise provides, the governor may fill a vacancy in the office by appointment until a successor qualifies. As a result, the other 8 offices can be filled by a gubernatorial appointment. Moreover, Section 5B of Article 5 provides in part that whenever there's a vacancy in the office of the superintendent of public instruction, the lieutenant governor, secretary of state, controller, treasurer, or attorney general, or on the board of equalization, the governor shall nominate a person to fill the vacancy. So how exactly does this work? Pursuant to Section 5B, once nominated by the governor, the individual takes office upon confirmation by a majority of the members of both the Senate and the Assembly. Once they're confirmed by both houses of the legislature, then that individual holds the office for the balance of the unexpired term. So this happened in early 2021 in the state of California. Former California Secretary of State Alex Padilla was appointed to be United States Senator by Governor Gavin Newsom when former U.S. Senator Kamala Harris became Vice President of the United States. Governor Newsom named then Assemblywoman Dr. Shirley Weber to fill the vacancy, and both the Assembly and Senate voted to confirm her. Then, after Attorney General Becerra was named by President Biden as the U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Agency, Governor Newsom named then Assembly Member Rob Bonta to fill the vacancy, and both the Senate and the Assembly voted to confirm his nomination as well. Now, what happens if one or both houses of the legislature does not confirm a gubernatorial nominee? Well, Section 5B speaks to this, and it says that in the event the nominee is neither confirmed nor refused confirmation by both the Senate and Assembly within 90 days of the submission of the nomination, then the nominee shall take office as if he or she had been confirmed by a majority of the Senate and the Assembly. So as a result, if the gubernatorial nominee is not confirmed by either house, so they're silent, or neither house rejects the nominee within 90 days, then that nominee takes office. Now, what happens if a gubernatorial nominee is confirmed by only one house, but is rejected by the other? This was actually addressed by the California Supreme Court in 1988 in the Lundgren versus Deukmejian Cal Supreme Court decision. And our state's high court said, we conclude that Section 5B requires confirmation by both houses of the legislature unless it fails to act on a nomination within 90 days, in which case the nominee is deemed to be confirmed unless the second sentence of Section 5B. When, as here, one house votes to disapprove a nominee, then the nomination is rejected, just as in other matters requiring legislative action by both houses. So note that if the 90-day period ends during a recess of the legislature, the period is then extended until the 6th day following the day on which the legislature reconvenes its session. Now, in addition to Section 5 of Article 5, there are several provisions in statute that deal with vacancies in state offices as well. And those provisions are found in the California Government Code, as we would expect, in Title I, Division 4, Chapter 4, Article 2. So the first is Government Code Section 1770 that specifies the different circumstances in which an office becomes vacant, basically upon the happening of any of the events occurring before the expiration of the term. There are 13 of these event happenings that are specified in Government Code Section 1770. In Section 1775, it deals with vacancies in any of the constitutional offices. And that code section contains the same language as Article 5, Section 5B. It also contains one additional provision that says, after a vacancy has occurred in an office specified in this section, and prior to the time such vacancy is filled as provided in this section, the chief deputy to the above constitutional officer shall discharge the duties of the particular office.